Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sherrod Show. I'm your host, Sherrod. Happy Monday to you. Hope everybody's doing well today. Today we have a very, very special show. We have a young lady who's an actress. I actually acted with her. She's in a film with me together, and we're going to be talking about her career as well as some things she's been going through, and then also the challenges of being in the industry as well, both for male and female. The lovely Annalisa Guidone is on the Sherrod Show for the first time. We're so excited. But before we get to Annalisa, the Sherrod Show is brought to you by the Pure Essence Television Network, where you can see some of the greatest episodes currently trending, like my recent interview with boxer great Ray Boom Boom Mancini, Tim Witherspoon, Joe Montega, The Temptations, and coming soon, The 3 Degrees as well to the show. You don't want to miss it. Just click on Pure Essence Television and you can see the greatest episodes of your life. It's also brought to you by iHeartRadio. So if you missed this broadcast on television, you can also listen to it on iHeartRadio. Just click the link and you can smile and drive. And then lastly, it's brought to you by my limited edition Rah Rah shoe collection, where every $1 goes to the fight for the cure for lupus. Well, ladies and gentlemen, oftentimes you see the glory, but you don't see the story. You see wonderful people doing big things in film and acting and all the wonderful things you see with actors that even your favorite actor, but you don't know what's going behind the scenes. And we're going to talk to a wonderful young lady who's a celebrity actress. She's been doing it for a long time, very well. And she's also a nurse, and then she has a story to tell as well for our very special segment entitled Beauty and Brilliance, featuring the lovely Annalisa Guidone on the Sherrod Show. Welcome, Annalisa. How are you, young lady?
I'm doing so well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk to you.
It's exciting having you on as well, Annalisa. We really appreciate that. So let's talk about your start. What got you started in wanting to be an actress? You know, oftentimes people have their story, but what is your story?
So, I grew up in Manhattan Beach, California, and I always wanted to be an actress ever since I was a little girl. You know, I loved making my mom laugh. I loved dressing up and she always had her video camera on me, so I was just always, hamming it up, being entertaining and stuff. But that kind of fell away when, both my parents were dentists and they're like, you need to do something professional. I was always discouraged from it, always. They wanted me to go to school, get my education, have a solid major that I could use in a job and everything. So when I got to college, I actually was a journalism major and I went to San Diego State. And when I was there, I was like, oh, journalism's kind of like acting. You have the camera, you're talking to people, you're telling a story and everything. So that like sufficed for a long time. But when I graduated, I kind of had this existential crisis of who am I? What's going on? How am I being true to myself? I wanted to be authentic and true to myself too, in as well as, being a people pleaser, making my parents happy and everything. So when I got done with college and graduated, barely, because I went through like a really a depression or something. I came out of that being like, I'm just gonna go for it. And then in 2013, I started acting. Like within 3 months, I was SAG eligible, and I just started going. And I literally I had a job where I was available for auditions, and I just kept I showed up to every single audition. I was on those sites applying every single day. I would go to the seminars at the SAG after a union, watching about career longevity and just networking and all that stuff. So it wasn't, I mean, the role I just got happened after I had stopped pursuing acting. It just was from all the minutia and inertia that I had built up from when I was going so hard at it. I went back to school after I got pregnant, and my story's all over the place, but I'm sober now. I have 7 years and my life changed a lot. But I went back to school. I became a registered nurse. And in being a registered nurse, like in my new life or whatever, Mars and Spooky hit me up. They're like, do you want to do a movie with us? And I was like, yeah, of course. And so that's kind of how I jumped into the film. And that's kind of how it goes for me in my life. Like as soon as I quit wanting something so bad and I stopped pushing so hard at it, and I just like let life do its thing, that's when it comes to me. Like right when I'm chill with right when I find some contentment and some peace, that's when something happens for me. And that's always been my experience in life. So it was pretty cool, and it was really fun to do that movie with you.
So, Annalisa, you were speaking about being sober now. It's been 8 years, you said?
It'll be 8 years in August, yes.
And now, oftentimes that's a backstory that's not often told because many times people, for example, when women or ladies, young ladies want to get into the industry, a lot of times it's not even about their talent. It's about, the casting couch and what you can do and things like that for them to further your career. Is that something you've experienced?
Yes, and when I was acting, I always took so much pride in myself that, I'm not going to do all that stuff. I want to be I want to be dignified, and I want to have my, but yeah, I mean, I look back and I think, wow, if I only, allowed that to happen, or if I didn't say no to that, or if I, everyone wants something in Hollywood, and there's always leverage that you can have. And because the competition is so fierce, and you get all these naive, brand new people from all over the world coming here that will do anything you want them to do because that's what they want. I really tried to stay true to my craft and my talents and practicing. And, I used to go to Expressions Up Unlimited up in Sherman Oaks with Bobby Chance, her acting studio. And she always told me the doing gets the get. Like she never said go sleep with as many directors as possible and see if something hits. Like she always just said, like, let your talent speak to yourself, let your work ethic speak for itself. And I think there's different angles that you could get at it to be successful and everything. But for me, I always tried not to go that route because to me that was just like cheapening myself. And now with all the Me Too movement stuff happening and everything, I'm glad there's light being shed on it because it happens to men and women, not just women. Like it happens to everybody. Like I had a boyfriend at the time, he was a model, and he got a movie that he said he, like, slept in the director's bed and woke up to some stuff happening to him. And I'm just like, do whatever you have to, everyone there's different roads to success or whatever. Like, I don't judge anyone. I'm a sex positive person, but, I just never wanted to put myself in that position where it's like, and in your head, no, oh, I'm only successful because I did this, that, and the other. Like, I always wanted to feel like righteous about having success. So I tried to stay away from that type of stuff.
Well, Anna, you've been very successful as a mom, model, as well as an actress. But what led to you starting to drink? You said you're speaking about depression. What led to the depression, which typically leads to substance abuse or drugs? But what was the story behind that?
Yeah, so I'm from a divorced family. From a divorced household. And I think between all the back and forth, and my dad was super militant style, like you're in bed by 10, you're not talking to boys, you're doing this, that, and the other. And then at my mom's house, it was like, do whatever you want, just be yourself, just be safe, da da da. So going from, like, I think the dichotomies of the two styles of being raised, I think I just got really I just got very in survival mode of like, okay, as long as I get good grades and have a job, I think everyone can stay off my back and I can do whatever I want. That was kind of my way of, again, with that leverage. It's like, that was how I got to do whatever I wanted. But at the same time, inside, I was like dying inside. I was like, um, suppressing, alcohol and drugs and like partying and just escaping. It suppresses a lot of feelings and stuff that no one wants to deal with, right? And so every time that you drink over something instead of deal with it sober and deal with it head on, you're missing all the life lessons. So here I am, 23 years old, out of college, out of school, with no lessons learned, just a bunch of masking and escaping and distracting, right? So I just knew something was inside of me where I was like, if I get sober right now, something's going to come out of me that I don't want to face, but I need to. And you walk through those pains and those fears, and you do it sober with a community and with help. I didn't know how to ask for help. I would always do everything on my own. Now today I do know how to ask for help, and that's okay. You're allowed to ask for help. That's it's part of life. It's part of being human, needing help. And yeah, I'm just super grateful for where I'm at. And there was some trial and error when it came to getting sober. Like I had 18 months at one point, and then I relapsed again. And then now I have 7 years. So it's not always like a straight shoot to sobriety. Sometimes it takes, because you have to figure out, like, how much willingness you need, how much courage you need, how much honesty with yourself you need too. Like if you're not being honest with yourself, how are you going to be honest with anyone else, you know? And
Mhm. Mhm.
so I'm just grateful.
It's great that you're sharing this with us. There's millions of people who go through what you've gone through, and a lot of people are ashamed of it, and they don't have an outlet, or they don't have anyone to talk to, or they're too embarrassed. Now, what was your point? Where was your breaking point when you realized, you know what, I can't do this alone?
So when I was acting, I had my SAG card and I was auditioning and I was doing a lot of indie films and some extra work, like background work, just whatever I got, I was super open to whatever I would get. What got to me the most though was when I joined this punk rock band called Nico Suki, and that's where it really went off. I was like, oh, I found a career that this works for me. But like, um, when I started missing auditions and when I started, not showing up to my one-on-one acting coachings, and when I couldn't trust my own judgment anymore, that's when I really started to realize I needed help. Luckily, my parents had very strong boundaries with me, and I was able to not being able to rely on them for anything. So I really got to hit a solid a rock bottom experience that I could feel like, okay, there's no more stones to be left unturned. Like I did everything I needed to do. I explored, I did my research. There was nothing left for me to figure out about my place in the world, like where I was powerful and where I was powerless. And so when I was able to finally come to terms that I needed help, like I came like a dog with the tail between its legs. But at the same time, like when you can't trust your own judgment anymore and you think you're doing XYZ and you're going to get this result, and then life throws at you this crazy plot twist of like something I couldn't have even seen coming, because the intelligence of the universe is way smarter than me. And I got shown that time and time again. And I was like, okay, got like, yeah, anyway, you could call it what you want. I was like, okay, like, I see you, I hear you, like, let me make some changes. And it made me a lot more grateful for my life and made my life meaningful. Like, I can't tell you what it feels like to have a key that I could lock behind me to protect me and my house, or hot water, or just, even the consistency of my job, knowing where my money's coming every month. Like there's so many benefits to sobriety, especially like, but it takes being honest with yourself first. And when you start growing, it forces the people around you to start growing too. Like my family's still getting used to this new, my new identity and who I am. Our relationship dynamics are still developing, and the life will challenge you, but they're both work. Like being successful is a lot of work. Staying drunk and partying is a lot of work. It's like, what type of work do you want to do? Life is work. So
Very good. Very good. So how do you feel right now? You feel normal, you feel proud, you feel clear, things are much clearer now?
yeah, definitely. Like I still have my days where I have to know when I need sleep. I have to know when I need rest or when I need to do self-care. I used to think I could just go, 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 and I was fine. But rest is part of like the cycle of life too. So if I'm not getting rest and if I'm not good, I have nothing to give anyone else. So I really try to remember that when I want to keep doing all this stuff, or like I have to, again, it comes to being honest with yourself. It's like, okay, I need to take a break from this or from this person or from this situation, or like you just get to know yourself better. And that self-awareness and being able to have that mindfulness of what is going to make you happy or content. Like I don't even look for happiness anymore. I just want to feel okay. I want to be content, you know, because
Very
that's
good.
real.
Now, for those who just joined us, we're speaking to the lovely Annalisa Guidone on the Sherrod Show, speaking about pouring her heart out about her experiences, as well as giving you some words of wisdom for those who also are going through what they're going through. We're going to be taking your questions in just a moment. Now, Annalisa, for those who watch, especially the ladies, what kind of advice would you give them if they feel that they got to sell themselves short to be able to get that big role because that's what they want and that's what they're asking for?
I don't want to tell people what to do. I'm not going to tell you that's the wrong move. It was the wrong move for me. If it's not the wrong move for you, everyone makes their bed when they sleep in it, right? Like if you're cool with it, if your moral constitution says that's okay, like do whatever makes you happy,
Mhm.
but don't do something with the expectation that you're gonna get something from it. Like I've seen people get spit up, chewed out, used, abused. Like Hollywood could be really ugly, like especially the business side, especially the power side. The people with the power, not everyone should have that power. And I'm not saying it's a right or a wrong thing, it just is. So if you want to make it, work as hard as you can on knowing yourself, like be able to shed a tear, be vulnerable, go to classes, go be around a community of people. Like my acting community, my acting school, like that was the most loving, supporting, vulnerable place. Like I remember when I was able to shed my first tear at Bobby Chance's acting studio, and I was just like, damn, like I can't, I couldn't believe it because I had trained myself not to cry about stuff for so long. So like surround yourself with people that are supportive and loving and caring towards you. And don't do things just because you think you're going to get a certain result because of it.
Very
People
good.
are tricky. It could be tricky.
Now, I met this young lady on the film premiere of Rufus a couple weeks ago. Very exciting movie premiere at the Regal Theater.
Um,
You got to definitely check out Rufus. I'm in it, she's in it, and it's also Rick Ross is the narrator, and Dan Mars is the director and writer. Incredible, incredible thing. Your performance was probably the longest. Or one of the longest on there. Tell us a little bit about what it was like doing such a scene and how did you enjoy it?
yeah, it was so cool. And my friend Spooky, he's like, "Why aren't you on the poster?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't care." Like it was so much fun. Like, um, when I got that role, I was, I'm a charge nurse of a hospital of a unit at a hospital, and it was ironic that the role was of a nurse. So I was like, this is silly and funny. And when I got that role, she's in love with this guy that's in a coma that she met in Mexico or something. So I had to brush up on my Spanish speaking, which I didn't grow up speaking Spanish. I learned it in school, but I never spoke Spanish in my house or anything. But I am half Mexican, so I was like, okay, I can do this. Let me see what I can do about this. And it was really fun because I was going through a breakup at the time, and I kind of regressed back into this like, okay, not this adult relationship ideal, but like who was I in love with as much as this character? Like I pulled, I was like, who was I in love with as much as this character in this show, Luciana? Um, and it was this guy from high school. So I like I reached out to this guy from high school, this old flame, just like poured my heart out into him. And like I was like, if this character has, I'm kind of a method actor like that, like a method actor. And like I was like, if this character was able to pour her heart out to this guy, like if I'm gonna play her, like I have to be able to do that. And that's just kind of how I feel. I mean, not with every role, but this was a good opportunity. It was safe. Like I've been a killer before. Like I'm not gonna go kill someone to see what that's like or something like that. But this role, she was in love. She had this unrequited like longing, determination to find this guy. And so I kind of practiced that with this guy from high school. And it was just so funny, like how deep I went into it to prepare for it. And me and the guy from high school, we still talk now. Like I don't know, there's something about just being able to be free and to know that you're safe to be free. You have to
Does he
you
still
have
does he still have the same feelings for you?
I think like it I think after all this time he was kind of like, where's this all coming from? Like why are you telling me all this stuff like 25 years later type of thing? We did spend some time together and everything, but you know, every not everyone's meant to be together. But I think it surprised him, and I think it gave me closure that I always wanted and needed too. So it was just like such a beautiful, like I feel like every acting role you get, you can really apply it to your own life and your own experiences and your own people that it resonates with you, and you can always pull from different things in your life to enhance and be more authentic on screen. Like how can I pretend to be so in love with someone if I've never really let myself be that free before? So it's like you have to kind of go for it sometimes.
Very good. Well, it was a very good role, and I didn't know that. I mean, you came across as if you spoke fluent Spanish, like you were Latino. Everybody fell for that. I believed it. Your acting was that great. Definitely want to check out Rufus. It is in the theaters now. It's absolutely great. I was shocked to see me open up the first scene, but anyway, just go check it out. It was a
So
wonderful.
rad. You did good too. You
Yeah,
did so
I
good.
appreciate it, young lady. Now we have time for a couple questions because Annalisa is very busy. She has to run. So we're going to take two questions with the first question. This is from Michael Anderson. He's all the way. Oh, wow. He's all the way in Jacksonville, Florida. He said, great episode. Just love the young lady. Seems like she's quite captivating. And he said his question is, what kind of advice would you give to someone who's going through sobriety issues now?
So different things come up in sobriety. You may not want to come to terms with certain things. You may not be ready. That's why it's really good to have other people with in your life that have more sobriety than you. Because if the goal is sobriety, you need to be around other people that are sober that have long-term sobriety. You can't just be hanging out with a bunch of newly sober people thinking you're going to get it. And I think you have to be easy on yourself, use the tools that they give you, find a community of people that you feel comfortable sharing with and, calling when you need help, because you can't stay sober and get a new life with the same thinking that you used to have. Everything has to change. So, don't hang out with, like, get rid of all the plug numbers, don't go back, don't hang out, like, don't eat lunch at a bar just because they have food there. Go eat somewhere that there's no alcohol. Like, just protect your sobriety with your life, because it is your life. If you're a real alcoholic, that's your life. So
Very good.
I would say get good people around you and stay away from temptation.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it, Michael, for your answer, for your question and your answer as well, Annalisa. We appreciate that. The last question is from Brandy. This is from Brandy. She's from Chicago, Illinois. She says, I appreciate your candidness and you opening up on the Sherrod Show about what you're going through and your issues. Her question is, do you still feel like you're gonna withdraw or relapse some days?
Sometimes I'll have dreams about it and everything like that. But when it comes down to it, like, I always tell myself, like, it's like a mantra, like, I'm not going to drink or use no matter what. Everything else is negotiable. If I owe someone an apology one day, so be it. If I make a mistake and it doesn't sit well with me, I can right my wrongs, but I can't take back my time. I don't want to do anything that's going to mess with my sobriety time. So I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, especially the longer I stay sober, the more newer and the more different things happen in my life. Like, I'm nowhere in my life where I ever thought I'd be. I have a kid, I'm a single mom, I'm a nurse, I went back to school. Like, all these things happen that I did not foresee for myself. And on the days I do feel like that, I look around, I look at my kid, I look at my bank account, I look at my dog, I look at my family, I look at where I live. I'm like, do I really want to throw all of this away just because I'm having a tough time dealing with something that's making me feel like drinking right now? Like, no, I wouldn't. I don't want to. It's a choice every single day. It's a choice every single day.
Very good. We appreciate that. And appreciate you, Brandy, for the question. And Annalisa, for those who has a lot more questions, but we don't have time for them, where can they reach out to you for their questions and comments?
Thank you so much.
What can they reach out to you, Annalisa, for if they have any more
Oh,
questions or comments?
if you want to reach out to me, I have an Instagram account. I mean, I don't really have an email account, but my Instagram is @ANNALALISA, like Anna LA Lisa. ANNALALISA. And that's kind of, you could see my art. You can also, I mean, I check my Instagram. So that's a place if you have questions about sobriety or about acting or about going back to school or about being a single mom or whatever that looks like, like, we're people and we're all here together. And I think we have to start somewhere when it comes to getting that support and that, people in our lives that we need.
Anna, we really thank you so much for being an inspiration to so many people. Just off of this brief interview with you and conversation, we thank you so much. Definitely support her on her career and what she's doing. Check her out, and Rufus as well. She's doing big things, and we're gonna have her in a future episode in our studio in LA as well. We definitely want to have her come visit and share more with the audience about her things and what she's doing. Annalisa, really quick, any final thoughts?
Final thoughts, like I just want to say thank you for having me. And I know what it's like to have a TV show and try to keep something going. You said you've been doing this for 15 years, you said?
That is
Right.
correct. That is
I'm
correct.
super proud of you and that you stuck with it, because that discipline with the consistency and the resilience, like I'm sure you have a story too. You know what I'm saying? So I just
That
want to
is
say
correct.
thank you, and I respect what you're doing, and it's been cool to be here.
Thank you, Annalise. Really appreciate that. And thank you for the kind words as well.
Yeah.
Join us on our next episode of the Sherrod Show. We have a very, very special guest. Actually, the lovely Barbara Streisand is going to be stopping by the show. We cannot believe iconic Barbara Streisand. Also, we're going to be in our studio, our new brand new studio in Northridge on June 14th. You don't want to miss it. Then we also got the Temptations and the 3 Degrees coming up on location in Hollywood. You don't want to miss that. Keep it locked here on the Sherrod Show, Pure Essence Television Network. And always remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever want to soar with the Eagles, stop hanging around turkeys. See you next episode.
Okay.
Bye now.
Okay.